Welcome back, boys and girls. It is another episode of Full Circle because it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Woman Crush Wednesday is back. Sorry, it's not. We'll do that again later. Or we'll use some other geeky word that begins with W and snicker about it for about 20 minutes. But anyway, I'm your host, Oda Harmon Jr. of Full Circle with the game Fanatics. You can find me at Oda Harmon Jr. on all social media. Except, I don't know, two of them, because I don't use Tumblr.
Oh. Well, you can find me at all the places, including Tumblr, at ToonVelo. I'm Jared Fredette, and we have an exciting show for you today.
Very exciting.
We'll be discussing very briefly the anime One Piece, and more importantly, what our Devil Fruit powers will be.
Ooh. We'll be talking about the greatest, newest Nintendo game hidden shelves later this year in December, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and why it's Ultimate, and why we're excited, and I might just drool at it for...
Just gush over it for the 10 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But first and foremost, we'll be talking about a matter most grave. Net neutrality.
It's a very important issue that you need to know, you need to understand, and be very worried about. That's not me trying to fearmonger. You should just be aware since we live in the digital age. And what you're watching us on YouTube, unless you're listening to us, thank you for our iTunes and
But even
SoundCloud.
so, you access that how? Via the internet.
Ooh, yeah, so point is it's bad. But first, what is net neutrality, Jared?
Net neutrality is the government's way of regulating individual internet service providers to protect you, the consumer.
Oh, so is that like the, FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, where they tell them that, food has to be safe for consumption?
Exactly, because I don't know about you, but when I ate my cereal this morning, I enjoyed that it wasn't filled with shrapnel and it wasn't filled with rat feces.
Yes, I quite enjoy that. My peanut butter is only a couple hundred parts per million of bug parts.
I enjoy, let's see. Yeah, it's right? I enjoy that the drugs I took this morning didn't give me just a heart attack immediately.
Yeah. Not dying from prescription drugs is always a plus.
Right. I enjoy getting in a car that doesn't fill my cabin with carbon monoxide. These are all healthy regulations the government places.
So let's dissect this in a way. I am uninformed consumer of digital media.
Mm-hmm.
But Jared, the government has told me that it doesn't matter. Net neutrality doesn't make a difference. Anything, it's bad. They're trying to restrict my rights and tell me how to internet.
Right. It's like this common misconception just seemed to permeate a lot of people. Although, as we'll discuss a little bit later in this episode, hopefully not as many people as we think. It's like, I don't know how to explain it to you other than that's just factually untrue, right? It's like, the government isn't trying to tell you, the person, what to do in the slightest.
All right, let me give you a little example, people. Because of net neutrality, you can go to Netflix, Yahoo, Google, any website that you want to, sans the dark web. Stay away from there. We're watching you. And you don't have to worry about speeds and uploads. Whatever speed or upload you provided is the same across the board in terms of websites, no matter what you're streaming from. Without net neutrality, Hulu and Comcast can get in bed together and be like, if you use Hulu, it streams perfectly. If you use Netflix, you use Amazon, you use Crunchyroll, Yahoo, whatever you use to stream. Besides that, they turn down the speeds. Drippingly slow. As slow as they feasibly wanted to.
Right? And we know this because they've done it in the past. Before net neutrality was enacted, Netflix saw an incredible grinding halt of their services because people wanted other service providers wanted to favor their streaming services. So while all these rules went into effect in June, we haven't seen the effects taking place just yet. And that is exciting because we're continuing to fight back. I know it hasn't been in the news for a while, but it's still going on. It has passed the Senate and it's currently in the House, and various states have passed their own legislation and executive orders to try and preserve net neutrality.
And for the gamers out there, that's equally important. So you want to play online games. So Sony has a deal with AT&T. So as long as you're on a PlayStation, playing games online is fine. Get on your Nintendo Switch and your Xbox, and now all of a sudden the perfect connection you just had on your PlayStation no longer exists. We're talking major lag. And you know how they're going to fix it? If you want the same speed you go on your PlayStation or Xbox, a fee.
Premium accounts.
You want the same fee you got on your PlayStation on your Switch? More money. You want the same speed to stream on Netflix that you do on Hulu? More money. And literally, net neutrality prevents these things from happening. But without it gone, they can literally go as ballsy as they want to, quite honestly. The only thing stopping them will be their own conscience at that point.
Right. Although, I'd like to tangent very, very slightly. I think the connection issue between the Sony and Nintendo Switch is more on Sony's end than ISPs.
Ooh, low blow, Jared.
It's true though. Like they're just not playing nice.
They're not, but they have a plan of sorts. I assume we want crossplay. That's all. Everyone just wants crossplay,
right? But we bring all this up to you today because recently in the news, an investigation into the early protests against the net neutrality repeal have come to light. So a long time ago, the FCC said they'd been under a DDoS, denial of service attack, by spamming bots, just one person sending millions and millions of complaints to the FCC to try and just attack them and shut down their site.
It turns out it was millions of regular people sending their complaints, not to shut down their site, but to say we need net neutrality because without it, we'll all be doomed.
Right.
Well, at least our wallets will be. And you're probably thinking, well, we'll just all go to the company that provides equal services. That won't happen. The companies will get in bed with each other and be like, hey, let's all make money. Let's all shut down one service or another. So there's no one company that will be equally providing services to everybody.
Right? Non-competitive agreements. And besides non-competitive agreements, we can even show that right now. Just like, okay, in my apartment complex only allows Comcast. Okay, well, what if I go somewhere else in town? Well, the only providers in Houston are AT&T and Comcast. It's like I can't even get Time Warner. Like I can't reach these other providers. They've already agreed. So, they avoid non-competition by just not setting up shop. It's you get around that pesky legality. So it's the free market can't even begin to correct the problem because we've already cheated.
Yes. Capitalism. Friend to no one. Wait, no, that sounds cryptic. Capitalism is good. But as with anything good, it's a double-edged sword. Because of capitalism, we all have a chance to be great and rich. But because of capitalism, once people are great and rich, they can easily work to stay that way and keep the rest of us from becoming that. That is a great example of the lack of net neutrality. Net neutrality evens the playing field for us all.
Right? Net neutrality beyond gaming, beyond, regular life, trying to get a job, it's freedom of information. It's how I know to go and get things. It's how I search things for this podcast.
We currently live in a world where you can't be part of the digital age. It's damn near mandatory in almost every facet of life.
It's 100. So I guess what we're trying to say with all this is the battle for the net is still going on, and it's a fight worth fighting. Keep calling senators and congressmen.
It's not something you should remain neutral on.
Nice. But another battle that's raging is an ultimate battle.
Oh, you guessed it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't know why. It seemed like a good idea in my head. It did not.
You need like the after effects of like booming like okay, let's say it at the same time. Super Smash Brothers
Ultimate. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Right. So right.
Oh, Smash Dome.
Welcome to the Smash Dome. So I just watched the Direct yesterday.
Yeah.
And they have over 100 stages.
Yeah, they have over 100 stages. Over 800 songs. Apparently, they can use your Switch as your media.
I saw that. So I like how they. Okay, so they tote that they have over 900 songs if you include the opening menu theme and people's screams, but 800 alone actual songs. And so they very very much skirt around saying iPod because you can plug in headphones to your Switch and use it as your mobile Switch music device. I was like, oh, that was an awkward transition.
I was like, I wonder would anyone ever. They're really I was wondering is that they're testing this feature. They're gonna be like, screw it. I'm just gonna let that.
We're just gonna let that go because we got many more exciting features besides the retroactive iPod.
One of my favorite features Oh, by the way, just a little. This segment is just us talking about it and gushing. I don't know if I'm going to provide any insightful information.
I mean, right? We're with you. We know about as much as you know.
Yeah.
We know that they uh, once again introduced new characters, but mocked us with a purple and yellow chair in the background. Once again, reminding us we don't have Waluigi.
Did they really put a purple and
Yeah,
yellow?
go back and watch it. As he's talking, there's just a purple and yellow chair back there. I'm like, why?
Waluigi sucks.
No,
He sucks.
I'm just saying, with the
He
cast,
should not be a character.
we have so many characters, which is good. I like it. Would it have killed them to create like Luigi Echo character Waluigi?
Yes.
We created so
Okay, well, no, he wouldn't be because Wario's not an Echo character of Mario. Like he's like his own unique character.
Yeah, but I mean, Echo characters have their own kind of movesets. Like,
I mean, but they're more or less still the same person.
Well,
it's only aesthetically different.
Yeah, but yeah, so like the Belmonts, right? The main characters that were introduced, they're Echo characters of each other.
But I feel like that wouldn't be good enough because one, Waluigi looks dramatically different. Like I feel like they couldn't have like Peach and Daisy. Like even though the moves look different, it's still the same moveset. Waluigi is so physically. There we go.
He's lanky.
Yeah.
Watch our last episode for our opinion on lanky people.
Yes. See, but he's still in a Sis trophy. I will never understand his following. He's the redheaded bastard stepson in the Nintendo's world, and we just all need to accept that.
I'm just saying, like, I would not be. I don't know. It's weird. It seems weird to me.
Like I'm gonna get like an I hate Waluigi shit. You know what? This is why I haven't got a full-time job because I haven't succumbed to the wills of the Waluigi. The Wah. Yeah, I was like, oh, I missed the obvious thing there. Anyway, one of my favorite new features, the stage morph. So you can pick 2 stages, and over the course of the battle, it morphs into the other stage, and it looks a lot cooler than you think.
I don't know. It didn't look as cool as you hyped it up to me to be.
Well, Jared is a Debbie Downer.
I'm not a Debbie Downer. Like, I thought it was gonna be like, okay. So what it is, go watch the video because that will do it far more justice. But what it is the whole stage 1 kind of blanks out and then zooms up, and then a light projection of the other one comes up from behind, and then the top one, stage 1, just blinks out. When you were saying morphing, I thought it'd be more like, oh, I'm gonna stretch up and I'm gonna stretch out and like literally kind of like morph or like crunch down. Oh no, this part like crumbles away to like reveal Hyrule Temple beneath.
I mean, the game's not God, Jerry. The game's not God.
But it's pretty ultimate.
That it is. That it is. One of the things I also like is that they're like, since they're bringing back most stages, the retro stages, they instinctively just kept the N64 stages as N64 stages. I was like,
it's just
I like
easier.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's, sometimes we just want a high-res version of the same game.
Right.
Why can't people understand? Oh, God, I thought Boomer was a real dog for a second. Oh.
Stay with me, my friends. Stay with me. I know we're talking a lot of, like, hypothetical and low-res. It's not just a low-res dog. However, woo, that was fun. Now, okay, so characters. Do you think we've seen the last of new character reveals?
Definitely not. So I read it was a spoiler thing that some guy had went and found like code names for character reveals, and he's been right so far.
Okay, so how many did he say how many he thinks we'll get?
Yeah, so according to the release schedule, they were gonna announce the Belmonts, which they did, but the character's name were like Whip and Cross.
That makes sense.
And then King K. Rool was just like King. And then so on and so forth. And so according to what he said, we should be getting about, I think, 3 to 5 more characters.
Okay.
One which I assuming the apex climax of reveals would be Baron Bird. I don't know who you thought that was.
I don't.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is this motion?
Oh, well, is that not a real person? Is that not a real character?
What?
Baron Bird?
Oh no, I was talking about Banjo-Kazooie. I was just.
Oh, I've not played that game. I am sorry. Okay, what are the files name called? I'm gonna predict here.
I don't have them.
Nuts. Okay.
We didn't prep for this, Jared.
This is what happens when we wing things. We see fictional dogs. We speculate wildly.
No, it's you know what? They can't hear it, but I'm
We-
dog sitting. There's a dog currently not in the studio, but
In the house.
She's in the house, and
She's kind of that color, actually.
Yeah, and she's whimpering, but you can't hear it, but she's been whimpering the entire time. So in combination of like constant whimper,
Just
and when I
stack it all
turned my
together.
head, it was like, whoa! How did you get on the table? Welcome to Full Circle.
How'd you open the door and close the door and climb on the table? That'd be an intense mode. Battle mode. So there's one mode that's still hidden. I'm just gonna keep working this back around.
Yeah, you're really bringing this full circle. No, I'm not even. I think you're just keeping us on.
And the bumpers on the bowling lane. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh yeah, so battle mode.
Right. We had the story mode, the multiplayer mode. There's like champion mode, and then there's the one that was still blurred out.
So the running theory is, with the most legitimacy, is that it stands for spirits.
Okay.
Because the guy looked at the English screenshot and the Japanese screenshot and kind of like,
this word kind of looks like, and that would also kind of look
yeah,
like.
and then he also went in Japanese because it's much longer. Like the word also seems to be the right length for it to be the Japanese word for spirits.
Okay.
And if you remember at the beginning, Luigi got scared and it turned into a ghost.
Luigi, ironically, is now a ghost.
Yes. And so they're thinking maybe there's a tie-in to that we just don't know about. But again, it's just speculation. We ultimately don't know. Haha, ultimately.
I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Like, would it be spirit fighters? Would they get a whole new, like, set of moves if they were spirit characters? Oh, man, that would be intense. Imagine, like, how many characters do we have now? Like, at least 80?
80? Something?
And then, like, to double that move, to give them all, like, new movesets also? 106. True. Ooh.
My head
Can you
hurts.
imagine the amount of programming they're having to do to get this, like, to all go?
Man, can you imagine the amount of balancing they have to do for that many characters?
Are the characters balanced?
I mean, Bayonetta wasn't. Maybe. I'm pretty sure Bayonetta's gonna get a huge nerf, which
we covered in a previous episode.
Yeah, and our geek jargon. Look it up.
But yeah. So actually, one thing I'm kind of excited for is the new style of tournament play, where characters that you select are then unselectable for round 2.
Yes, that's real. That's like, so there's the ultimate strategy. You can pick a character first just so your opponent can't have it because that might be their best character, and just that's a new level of strategy that's fun and clever.
Right? It's like, okay, right, it's no longer just a fighting game. It is now kind of a strategy game too.
It's like, all right, so do I pick my best character first, save them for last? Do I make one of my characters a character that my opponent's good with just so they don't have them in their arsenal?
Right, and then of course, the longer you don't select a character you're good with, your opponent might select him too. I wonder if you could select Echo characters as different characters.
Probably not.
Probably not. But I'm excited. It can't come soon enough.
And they announced the Ultimate Edition.
Of course.
Well, it's only in the UK now, but of course, if it's in the UK, of course, it's gonna be here in America. So it comes with
book flight to UK.
So it comes with the game,
mm-hmm.
a new GameCube controller, and a new GameCube adapter for the Switch.
Wireless?
Yeah. No, it's wired.
Why? They could completely make it wireless.
Go get yourself a Wavebird.
I have a Wavebird.
Well, then there you go.
Okay.
But with the Wii U version, the cord is like 10 feet long, so
that's still, I don't know, that's still just not as fun.
I don't need no lag on my inputs, Jared.
I've been at plenty of parties where cords just get in the way and people awkwardly like clamor over each other.
It'll be fine. We'll. You know what? You can play with the Wiimote.
I'll play with a Pro controller.
Oh wait, yeah.
Although I never had a problem with the Wiimote. I don't know what people like. How do you do this? I'm like, you just...
Okay, Wiimote nunchuck is fine. No. Wiimote by itself...
I just literally sit and cross my arms.
No, I've seen people play with the Wiimote by themselves. I'm just like, what
okay, Wiimote by itself, you're literally playing Game Boy, like a... Yeah, doing this by itself would not be... Well, it's even awkwarder, right? Because it's like...
Can we just talk about how amazing the GameCube controller is, or how amazing it is for Smash
That can be a new topic for us. A rundown of all the best game controllers.
GameCube.
GameCube.
It just makes
Spoiler
sense.
alert.
Like the N64 controller and the PlayStation controller did the fusion dance, and then magic.
Right. So that's the game controller that we all want. But what about One Piece powers?
Ooh, I actually don't know because I cannot seem to come up with a good one.
That's okay. You have time to think it over as you tell us what One Piece is in like 2 sentences.
All right, One Piece is the greatest story of all time. You should watch it. It's amazing. And One Piece, people have powers due to a thing called a devil fruit. It's a little fruit that tastes horrible. Once you eat the devil fruit, I have surpassed 2 sentences, by the way. Once you eat the devil fruit, you lose your ability to swim, which is important in a world that's primarily pirates and oceans.
Mm-hmm.
But you gain fantastical powers, like the main character, Monkey D. Luffy, aka Luffy, is a rubber man because he ate the gum fruit, which turned him into rubber. So his body's elastic and it has all the properties of rubber that allows him to do crazy cool things, including his organs. His organs are rubber too. Everything's rubber.
That's a great summary. So I'll give you more time to think, and I'll describe my power.
All right.
So my power will be the mystical Zoan type.
Oh, also the devil fruit comes in 3 types. One that makes you some type of animal.
Zoan.
One that gives you a physical property of a thing, like rubber.
I don't know the type.
I don't know the type either, I forgot.
And
the Logia type, which turns you into a living manifestation of a substance, like fire. Like you are literally, like, if someone tries to touch you, they'll be touching fire because you went out fire.
Yep. Okay, so mine, the mystical Zoan type, I'm going to call it the Fox fruit. And so effectively, it turns me into a kitsune.
What is a kitsune, Jared?
Kitsune is from Japanese folklore. It is a foxed entity, fox spirit, that has multiple tails. So, for one, I thought I'd start off with one tail, and as my powers grow throughout the One Piece series, I would grow more tails.
Ultimately ending up in 9. Yes, people, 9-tailed fox is from Naruto, but in most Japanese things, all the foxes have 9 tails when they reach, like 9 tails. Who's appropriate name? 9 tails.
Right? And when the foxes gain the 9th tail, their fur turns golden white, like 9 tails. You get
see,
it?
Yeah, you see the same theme here?
Right. So, as far as powers go, basic powers, improve hearing, improve eyesight. I can have claws. I have better smell.
Yes. Oh, and Zoan types, for you don't know, you have 3 forms. One being your regular form as a human. The other form you can legit turn into the animal of the fruit you ate. And you can make yourself a hybrid form, which is usually your more powerful form, which is, half human, half kitsune. Exactly. All fun.
So, additional powers being, I can, assuming, I have martial arts and hardening and special hockey and all that. With the tails, I'll be able to whip people. So, use it as, a far-range whip. I'll be able to absorb people into the tails. And when I do so, I can shapeshift into them.
Because kitsunes can do it. Look it up.
Right? And so, sort of caveat is that also along with mythology here, occasionally, my real tail might slip out, and I have to, hide that somehow. Additionally, I'll be able to possess people, but I thought that might be a bit too overpowered, so I can go into their body and possess their body, but they still remain in control. And then, on their head, they'd have, just ears remaining.
You're just along for the ride.
I'm just along for the ride.
You're using them as a vehicle.
Yeah. But that's still pretty handy, again, like you said, in a world where I can't swim or I might not be a pirate. I'll possess a pirate and they'll take me to the next island.
Ooh, could you imagine you fall off a ship and you just possess someone who can swim and then you're stuck in them?
How would that work with... I guess I would just be in their body. I couldn't escape until...
Because you would die if you did.
Because I would die if I did. It's not just not swimming. It's zaps your energy, terrible fate, death, punishment. But it's okay. Just, always... Just, opposite Davy Jones. Just stand on a plank of wood.
Which several powers have done in this universe.
See? It works perfectly fine.
And they always seem so calm and nonchalant when they're doing it. It's yeah, I'm just riding this piece of drift something until I get to land. Maybe use my power for a little bit of propulsion.
Right. So that's what my power would be.
Alright, so this whole time I've been staring at Majora's Mask. So I'm going to have the Mask fruit, which allows me to turn things and objects into masks. Okay. And then put them on other people to let them inherit the person's powers or maybe just turn them into a thing.
Okay.
That so if I turn a chair into a mask and someone puts on the chair mask, they turn into a chair.
That seems simple.
And they get sat on.
How do they take it off though if they don't?
They don't. It's an analogy for life.
Ah. I see. It's a punishment.
So I think you have to just wheel it off. Like if you're an inanimate object that doesn't have hands, you just kind of, I don't know, shake it off.
Shake it off. Okay. We were talking about the other part of the power that you kind of wanted.
So you can exhort experience of people, but I myself can turn myself into a mask and force it on. Like I can physically give things to mask to other people, but myself I can just kind of swap through them. They're just, I don't know, stored within my body because magical reasons.
Okay, that seems fair.
And then I can force myself onto people and fully take them over. So if there's another devil fruit user, I can put my, capture them however what way, and then, my mask goes on them, like my body turns into a mask, and then I can fully control them and whatever they can do.
But doesn't that sort of violate the only one devil fruit rule?
No, because I'm not, like, I myself don't, they're still them. I've just effectively, because of the mask control power, just taken over them. Like, it's like when Don Flamingo marionette somebody, he's just controlling the person's still using their own respective power.
That's fair. Okay, I see. That makes more sense. Can we rip you off like the mask, like smoking and just like.
So my other masks I use control because of things or people, you can kind of forcefully will those off. But if it's just me, then I imagine no.
Okay.
We'll probably have to have some mental, physical battle.
Can my pirate crew come and take you off for me?
I mean, probably.
Okay, I guess that seems fair.
But I feel like, but to do that, they'll have to incapacitate me as you. So like, I'm wrecking havoc.
Yeah, but if it's part of my pirate crew, we all know how to take each other down.
But if you're I'm probably taking over the captain though. The strongest person in said crew.
Yeah, and we have a contingency plan for taking down the captain.
Oh, okay, Batman. Okay. Excuse me.
It's called Lois Lane. The big guns. Not a fan of that movie. But if you're a tight-knit crew, I'm sure you've all thought of ways, or you have contingency plans how to deal with each other.
But some crews have captains that are just so strong that.
But there are also crews of like 500 people.
I mean, what's 500 ants to a me?
To a beetle. I don't know. That is how great your power is.
Well, I mean, so like the 4 Yonku and like the Shibukai, like they're so. It's it's literally the quintessential sin of get them in, and then hundreds of nobody nameless pirates just
go flying.
Yeah, I was like, which I always think is a fun anime trope when they do it. I'm like, why don't just the powerful people just show up and just like, why even have the millions of henchmen? Because literally the effort it takes everyone to just be like and be gone, and then usually it's always a showcase of like, ha. Ooh, I'm one of the generals. Oh, I'm also someone important. So it's like, I think they don't even break a sweat. Like quite.
I mean, probably not.
Yeah, it's like saying you send a whole bunch of seats 3 through who gives a damn to go fight a captain.
Right. Doesn't matter. Right. Okay. So wait, what happens? What happens to things you make masks of?
If it's an animate object, it's there. If it's a person, I just steal their essence, and then I assume maybe it's like Moria. Maybe you can just go back. For me to permanently have a mask of somebody, I would have to kill them.
Okay. Dark. It's dark, Odell.
The world is dark.
But I think that has reached the end of what powers we want.
The mass fruit makes sense. Look, watch. Look. I've been struck with a terrible fate.
Wait. Okay. Now move your body.
I've been struck with a terrible fate. There, see, it'll be like Majora's. You know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. It'll be the Majora's Mass fruit.
I think Nintendo might have a Su fruit for you.
Oh, I'm just gonna let this joke die here.
Just let it die. So that's his power. My power would be the Fox fruit. Backtracking now.
Oh yeah, we talked about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. and why we just gonna love it and hold it like a baby.
Love on it, nurture it,
And thank God every passing day that Waluigi will never see a place on the roster. He, ha ha ha.
And then from that battle, the battle for the net, which we encourage you again to go and fight. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to us here, as well as Twitter and Instagram. For Full Circle, I'm Jared Fredette at Toonbalo.
And I'm Odo Harmon Jr. at Odo Harmon Jr. So join us here every Wednesday at the Game Fanatics, and everyone have a great week. Oh, and follow the podcast, FC Podcast 23. Do that. And the like, share, subscribe.